So here it is. My philosophy is very simple. I treat everybody like I cannot beat them. If you are trying to beat someone in arm wrestling, but they are stronger than you, then you have to play some games, right? And when I say games, it means you have to do things that make you more comfortable in the match. The first thing that I always do is I go to the referee's grip every time. The reason for that is every arm wrestler that I know growing up always set his hand first. Then he would run it to his shoulders, adjust his back, run it down his body, and set his feet. You see it all the time at practice. Guy stands regular, gets his grip, then he comes up and gets ready. The set grip makes you do that in reverse. So I learned a long time ago that if I take him to the set grip, I'm going to set my feet first. I'm going to move it up my body. I'm going to make sure my back is in the right spot, shoulders, everything is perfect. The last thing that I'm going to do is get a grip. And when you're in a set grip, you don't always get the grip you want. So I decided that instead of trying to get a grip anymore, I am simply going to squeeze my hand as high and tight as I can possibly get it. And then I'm going to let that person either come running in and try to hook me, or he can lay back on his tricep and try to top roll me. It's up to him. It does not matter to me. I'm going to make that fist, and I'm going to go high side pressure every single time. So because of that, every single exercise I'm going to show you is me making a fist and then having something connected to that fist that is trying to stop me from taking that fist to the pin pad. So the most important exercise that I do is called ghost arm wrestling. And all it is not worrying about who this person is. So I am arm wrestling myself, by myself. So when I walk up to the table, the first thing that I do is take my elbow and put it as far in front as possible. That way, you cannot open my hand this way. You can only turn it this way, okay? If you don't want your hand taken, then put your elbow over your hand, and it cannot get taken. It can only get open sideways, okay? First things first, elbow to the front of the pad. If my elbow's in the front of the pad, it's going to be way away from my body. I need to train my back pressure, this fist, with my elbow far away from my body, okay? The other thing I want to do is I want to make the tightest fist that I can possibly make. So, as soon as I get to the table, I set my feet first. Then my elbow goes in front of the pad as far as it can. I am flat on my feet. The referee is either going to tell me to close my hand, and that'll be the next command will be go. Or if we're in the WAF, he's going to set the second hand. The second hand that he sets is just like the referee saying, close your hands. Because what I mean by that is the next command is going to be go. Whatever the last command is before go, that's when you need to be ready to strike. So I start with my feet flat, my elbow in front of my body. My hand is straight up in the air, and I am squeezing straight down to make this fist, okay? Now, I'm just going to pretend that it's WAL all the time because they're the ones that are paying the money. So to me, that's the rules I want to make sure I know how to do, right? If somebody has different rules but big money, then I will find out what their command is right before they say go. Currently, it's close your thumb, close your hands, go. So I know when he tells me to close my hands, the next thing is going to be I need to be ready to roll. All right, so my feet are flat. My elbow is far away from my body. The reason my elbow is far away from my body is because I need to develop some movement. What's the first thing that's going to happen if you have your elbow away from your body and someone gives you some tension in your hand? Your elbow is going to fly back into your body immediately. Okay, so you're here, the guy grabs me, and immediately I'm going to fight, right? So that movement from my elbow from the top, front to the back is the first bit of movement that people say, man, motherfucker's fast. He's not fast, he's scared because he's got his elbows so far away from his body, okay? So when you think I'm really fast, it's really because I put myself in a weird place that I wasn't comfortable, and now it's gonna come back to that comfortable place, and it's gonna be the first thing that moves. The second movement is gonna be when he tells me to close my hand, or the last command before he says go, I'm going to rise from my heels to my toes. What do you think the first thing that's gonna happen after they say go? I'm going right back to my heels, okay? So between the toes to heels and the elbow front to back, that's why you think I'm the fastest motherfucker in the world, okay? But that's really not it. It's just that I set myself in a little bit of an uncomfortable place so that the speed and fear will get me back to this spot, and it'll also create the first bit of movement instead of being locked in there and letting them hit me, okay? So I adjust my feet. The guy tells me to close my thumb. When he closed my thumb, I know that I need to make sure my feet are ready to move. So the first thing you'll see, watch any video, they tell me to close my thumb, and I just move my feet a little bit to make sure that I feel them, and I know that they have to change position. I have to go from my heels to my toes. When he tells me to close my hand, I rise to my toes, and I squeeze my fucking hand as tight as I can. Sorry about the cussing too, the kids, sorry about that. But I close my hand as tight as I can, okay? Now, if you make a wrist curl, and this is all of us right now, and then you try to make your hand squeeze it, it's not that awesome. But if you invert your hand a little bit, you can make an awesome fist that also straightens your wrist up. So sometimes you'll see me and my hands a little bit back, and it's almost like, man, he's so good, he can let the guy have his hand, but that's not the truth. The truth is, if my hand's back a little bit, he can get less of a bite, and I can have a stronger fist, okay? So, how do I get a strong, I'll tell you that after. Hand straight up in the air. As soon as he tells me to close my thumb, I adjust my feet a little bit. When he tells me to close my hand, I rise to my toes and squeeze my hand. Looks like this. Close your hand. Everybody see that? Michael, you know that, right? You felt that. You felt that. Close my thumb, adjust my feet. Close my hands, I rise to this uncomfortable position just to cock this gun because I know the next command is go, okay? How do I get my hand strong? A lot of people use grippers. Anybody here got a set of grippers? What's the problem with grippers? I like that, but I don't agree with that. I mean, that might be right. Probably is right. I like that though. Here's what I hate about them. It hurts my hand. After I do 500 of them, my hand hurts. And I got a bruise of where my hand was actually touching the thing. And then you give me those iron, what is iron something? They are really terrible. They hurt. So this is my Captain Crush handle right here. I take this little towel here, I wrap it around once, fold it back. Now, how do I know when it's in my hand correctly? If I close my hand in an arm wrestling position, my door knocking knuckles are lower than my fist knuckles. If I don't put enough of my hand in there, as I try to close my hand, I'm gonna have my door knocking knuckles higher than my fist knuckles. Everyone agree with that? So when I squeeze this towel, I make sure that my door knocking knuckles are even or lower than my fist knuckles. From there, I just invert my hand a little bit and squeeze all day. Guy says, what happened to your hand? What do you mean? Did you cut your? No, I didn't cut it. I'm just trying to get stronger so I can beat these guys. And then I just switch hands all day, every day. If you're not squeezing something, you're not going to be the best arm wrestler in the world. If you work all day and then think you're going to then train for an hour and a half, you're not going to be the best arm wrestler in the world. You have to do it all day, every day. Now, you do have to work, I get it. But you should have this towel in your hand at work. You should have a pulley in your truck or car. You should also have one at work. You should also have one at home. And every chance you get, you ought to put yourself in a great position that you know you're actually going to use in the game. If you're lucky like me, you can spend 7 hours all day at the gym, maybe not do nothing. Most of the time, I don't do nothing. But if I wanted to, I could kill that shit because I got a lot of time, all right? And if somebody puts up a couple of $, I'll start killing it. But right now, There ain't a whole lot of money out there, okay, guys? Unless you're doing what I'm doing right now. So, my hand is super strong because it's smart. I do not put my hand in bad positions. I have a way to audit every position. If I can't close my hand and get my knuckles even or lower, I'm not in the guy's hand enough, okay? Or the referee has killed us in this set grip, all right? So those are things that I already know. If I can't get my hand closed, it's because I don't have enough of it in there or I need the guy to come down. So I can talk about that with whoever needs to talk about. The next thing is, when I squeeze that hand and I rise up here, that position needs to be practiced. It's very hard to develop back pressure while you are leaning forward and your elbow is away from your body. Really easy to have back pressure if you're leaning back, okay? So, everybody check this out. I have this thing just around my wrist right there. I'm gonna pull it a little bit, make that fist that I've been talking about. And then I'm gonna scoop up here. And when I get here, I'm gonna make sure my elbow is in front of my hand. I'm gonna make sure my weight's on my lead foot in front. So now all of a sudden, I'm leaning forward with great posture. But because my elbow is so far away from my body, it's still back pressure here, okay? I'm always gonna win the index finger to index finger touching battle. If we touch there and you think that I'm not going to go that way, I am going to fight like a beast with my index finger up high pressure. And this is the exercise, and you need to do it all the time. Pull it, put it right on that knuckle, and then scoop it under. Make sure your weight's on your front foot and your elbow is out. If you do that, you will be able to lean forward, but still have back pressure. Everybody understand that? That could be the key to my success. But there's like 10 things like that. So I don't know if it's that one or not. All right? Okay. The next thing that is going to happen if I am squeezing my hand and making a fist, we are going to slip out a lot. Okay? And the reason is because I'm not going to let him feel what I have until the guy says, close your hands, go. So a lot of us, we do all this setting up so the guy knows everything that's happening. He knows I'm coming in. He knows I'm gonna tricep press. He knows whatever I'm gonna do. However, if I do, Jeremy, you're killing me, man. I love you. You are killing me. So, what the hell was I saying? You really killed me, Jeremy. Bad. Oh yeah, so no matter what he does, I'm gonna give him the least amount of information possible before go. So I'm going to the set grip. I'm not touching you, right? I might touch you if I got to, but then I gotta get away. Get some chalk, get to the set grip so that he's not gonna know anything until 1 second before they say go. All right, now, because of that, when I squeeze that hand and he realizes, holy shit, what is this? This is weird. Everyone else is trying to grip around me. Why has he got this fist? And now he's so tight, I can't get around him unless I move my elbow forward and wrist curl, which is a foul. Okay, so if he does it right, he's gonna have very little information and a super aggressive guy who has already moved and squeezed. So right away, we slip out, unless he's dumb enough to hold on. Sometimes he is. And that's fine with me, but I feel like for the most part, after you've been arm wrestling for 2 weeks, you're going in a strap every damn time, it seems like, in this world, okay? So, you're gonna have to pull in the straps, okay? Now, what's the correct, is there a cheat in the straps, all this stuff? Yes, and what it is how comfortable are you? How comfortable are you with your fist being connected to that strap in 2 places? People ask me all the time, where should I put the strap? That's the simplest question ever. Okay, here it is. What does this look like after I wind it around a couple times? It looks like, what does this look like? Looks like the strap, guys. Thanks for answering the questions. All right. Now, check me out. If I put this strap on my wrist and then up here by my index finger, right knuckle, I can lean forward, elbow or weight on my front foot, thumb right here on my face, elbow out front, and I start walking back. If I get where I can't go any further, then I'm like, mark it right here, boom. I come down. Now, if I'm smart, I'm gonna run a few tests. So one of the tests is, what if I put it down here a little bit, got it a little closer to my elbow, and what if it ran down this bone line of my thumb and I had that much of my hand in the strap? Right now, all of a sudden, when I start walking back, I can go a hell of a lot further. How do you think I should set the strap up? The way that you're the strongest. And then you ought to have it all the time. You ought to be doing that exercise all the time. And every time someone walks up to the table, you ought to have your strap ready. It's already ready. And I already know how to put it on with one hand in 3 seconds. You should know that too. Why? Because you should be pulling in a strap every match. Why? Because the guy who knows something is going to do that to you. I'm telling you right now, you have very little control of getting in the set grip or getting in the strap. To the point now that the money, where the money is in the WAL. You don't even have to touch the guy. You can walk up, walk away. 30 seconds later, you're going to the strap. So don't be the guy who says, man, I can beat him out of the strap, but every time he puts me in the strap, he wins. Listen, you lost because you're not spending every minute of your day in the straps. And you're too dumb to do a bunch of tests as to find out exactly where that strap should be, okay? Every match should be in the strap. In this exercise, you should be super comfortable with those straps. And you also should be leaning forward. Do not do this. If you lean back and commit, you will have no side pressure. Do you understand? We all know, we all see this guy. And then he gets the hand, but then he has nowhere to go. What he wants is to lean forward, elbow here, and take that hand from here. Now, he's got beautiful posture to go sideways, right? Beautiful posture. Now, every single arm wrestling match at some point, if the money is there and it matters, there's going to be a place where you have to go sideways. I hate it, right? What's the worst thing about side pressure? Oh my goodness. It hurts really bad, right? A guy's like, here, walk up, grab this thing, push it as hard. What? I can't do that. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to be a top roller. So I did that for about 10 years. I got really good at it. But eventually, you're going to find a spot where the guy has cut the angles off and you have to go sideways. So how do we go sideways but not hurt ourselves? Here we go. Corey, you can be my guy. Just don't move. You good right there? Just make sure you set to where you can put your right hand and grab a hold of this to anchor yourself a little bit. No. You're anchoring yourself. I'm gonna take this little rag after I wipe my head off. I'm gonna wrap it around Corey's arm. Sorry about that, Corey.
If I get corona, this is why.
That's right. It's gonna be worse than that, big guy. Hold it right there. You should have seen that waitress last night. Woo! Just kidding, guys. Just kidding.
I feel like I've seen this on a video before.
Yeah, you've seen it, man. Michael, are you kidding me? Michael's been analyzing this shit for years, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. All right, so listen, here it is. Now, I love the person here. You can hook this up to things, but when you're arm wrestling, the other person matters. He's moving and stuff. All right, Corey, what I want you to do is stick this right here on that tit right there. Boom, a little bit of a wrist curl. Perfect, you're gonna start in front, and all we wanna do is keep that elbow up and pretend that we have got the jump, and now we're just turned in here like this. Elbow up high in the air, and then when you're gonna have to let me probably, open your hand up eventually, open it all the way up, open it up. That's a great little stretching thing. Now he brings it back over there. Now this time, don't let me open it up. You should be working this exercise all the time. Let it stretch, let it stretch, let it stretch your arm. It'll feel good as shit, just let it go. Then it comes back in, and he holds it. Elbow up, right there. Just hold right there. Don't move. Don't worry about winning. Just try not to lose. Nice. That's it. Good job. This exercise is the reason that I finally could finish people sideways. That is the exercise right there. It does not hurt. Now, it's not comfortable, but you will not tear your bicep or break your arm. And you can do 1,000,000 reps. It's better to do it seated. If you start standing up, you're going to catch yourself leaning too much, all right? Any questions?
How do you do it with one person?
You don't. If everybody hates you, you're fucked. You got to find. Got to be somebody. Your mom. Your mom, you're somebody, all right? Now, you can do it like this, right, against something, but eventually you can't stay here. You're going to have to run away, and it'll open it up. But if I was you, I'd find somebody. It's got to be somebody. Any more questions?
Yeah. What's your philosophy regarding standing like this? When I see, like here, I imagine like this position. Why not like straight and just standing like? I can show you on the table.
Yes, please. Your communication is shaky, Dimitri.
So this is like standard. There is no standards, but usually you're standing like this.
Yes.
In my understanding.
Yeah, I believe that if, stand up here, I believe that if we come over here as much as we can and we put our right shoulder or elbow right on the end and we go in just a slight losing position, don't move right there. This is the hardest place for your opponent to move you sideways. If you're here, he's got a lot of bite. When you come up to about right there, now he's in an interesting position where he has to bring you to him. If he keeps continuing sideways, he will run out of room that way. So that's why I do that. That's it. But you don't have to do that. If I'm arm wrestling people I'm stronger than, I set up any way I want. But I'm telling you how to set up if you can't beat the guy. And you have to figure out how to do it.
What if your arm is pretty long and you're out there and they make you come down?
They're going to make you come down. And I don't ever listen.
Do you leave the elbow to the front?
He does not.
I do not listen. But I do always want my elbow in the front. It don't always work like that.
Most of the time I'm like this much higher than that, so I got to scoot back a little bit.
No doubt. And you're going to have to scoot back if you're taller than them. But I will tell you this. If you continue to fight like this, you will be so uncomfortable when you're like this that you will immediately, just from instincts alone, get to the spots you're most comfortable. So that's the best answer, I guess, I can give you that.
Are you doing straight down or on the side?
I am doing, have you guys know what a plate hold is? I should have went over that. I just need a bumper plate. Somebody turn around and grab a 10, 15, anything back there? No, not grab a 45. Hey. If you don't mind. So this plate hold to me makes my thumb, and when he tells me to close my thumb, I do not do that. I do this. Right? And the reason is because that's the position if you want to do a plate hold, right? So this plate hold right here, I do these not so much, but I tell people I do them all the time. But I have done them enough that when he tells me to close my thumb, I do not go like that, I go like that. Everybody see that? That's the plate hold. If you do the plate hold, you will quickly develop your thumb to come in the middle of your hand, all right?
What's that advantage?
I don't know if it's an advantage. It's just a place where I feel really comfortable. And I know that now that distance here will allow me to put my hand straight down instead of this, where I would be covering my thumb. I want to get my fingers between my thumb and my hand. So I don't want to cover my thumb. I want to go straight down into it. I have 2 more questions, and then we're going to split up into groups, and we're going to talk to everybody. Anybody? Yes, sir. Sometimes it all depends on the other person too. But a lot of times, if I'm really scared, I am inverting and coming straight down because I do not want this guy around here. I want him in here.
Does that work in a ref's grip too?
It always works in a ref. Well, my ref's grip,
You get away from that and the ref
My ref grip is a WAL one right now, which I'm putting my hand down. However, when the referee tries to put my hand down, WAF, I don't let him turn. As soon as he starts doing that.
I'm talking about when you said you invert.
Right.
Won't they correct it?
They will not correct that.
Really?
They will not. And if they do, they're really screwing the other person, which would be great. But they don't normally. Now, you'll hear the other person crying, look at his hand. Now, listen, this is bad. This isn't so bad. But you'd be amazed at how just a little inversion will let you make that fist so tight. Okay? That's my little half-hour spiel. Okay? I don't think these other guys are going to be quite up to that. Okay? But hey, we'll see.